Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Hope you're doing very well. I hope you've had a good week so far. So today I wanted to make a video about mental health awareness. Currently when I'm filming this, it is Mental Health Awareness Week. Not that we need just a week for mental health awareness. It should be something that we constantly should be talking about. But yeah, this week is kind of more fixated on the kind of kindness and giving aspect of mental health awareness. So I just wanted to make today's video to kind of talk a little bit about my own mental health, how I deal with it, especially now that we're in kind of at the moment we're still in lockdown, and I haven't really left the house at all. I think I leave the house maybe once a week, mainly because I'm working from home, but because I'm quite scared about going out and getting infected. So essentially, what is mental health? I mean, it is a mental aspect, but there's different physical beings of it. So for example, there's anxiety, there's eating disorders, there's depression, just to name a few. So a lot of people might not think that as a mental thing, but it actually all connected to your mind and how you perceive things. So for example, when it, I don't want to talk about eating disorders because it's not anything that I've been through, so I can't comment on that topic. There's people out there who are affected by eating disorders, and that is their story to tell, because I'm not, I don't want to give a perception of what I think it is if I haven't been through it. So if you want to talk about depression, anxiety, I'm here to talk about it. I mean, I just want to make this video to bring awareness to people, and what kind of help I've got, what help I want to get maybe in the future, because when you're at home, you have a lot of time to think. And I know I said I'm working, so yeah, I'm working like 10 to 5, Monday to Friday. But there's moments when you sit there and you just think about life. You have like moments where you kind of like, where am I taking my life? What am I doing with my life? And it's taken me a long time to get to the point I'm at now, but I know I'm still not truly 100% where I want to be, and I think that might be something that's going to be with me forever. I don't know. I don't want to make this video crazy long for people, but it's just kind of a topic that people need to be aware about, because you've got the charities and organizations that help people with mental health. There's charities like Mind, which are fantastic. They help people all the time, and there's different types like therapies and people that you can talk to, like Good Samaritans, if you ever feel like you're suicidal, if you ever feel like you're depressed. I know the word like depression gets thrown around a lot, but I genuinely think that there's more to just being diagnosed as being depressed. I mean, I've grown up people in my family who have depression. I think I might have it myself. I mean, I'm not going to self-diagnose, but I know for a fact, and this is like the first time I'm ever saying it out loud, is that when the lockdown ends, I want to go and see my doctor and talk about like my mental state, because I don't know if it's just because of the COVID or if it's just life in general, but there's always this aspect of I don't feel kind of achieved with anything. I don't know if that's based on like my life, like my personal life, my job, there's so many different aspects, and that is, I guess, depression telling you kind of like you're not right, you're not feeling all right. And it's not just because of the lockdown, it's just generally because of everything. But I wanted to talk a bit about like my anxiety and a bit about this and that if you wanted to have a listen. So I've been suffering from like anxiety for about 3 or 4 years now. It might be about probably about 3 or 4 years. And it kind of got to a point where I had to, like, I had CBT, and I had it for like 6 weeks. And it's such a weird topic because everyone that I've kind of spoken to about, or I've watched videos about CBT, no one says that it's helped them. And no offense to the people who, like are the therapists who do CBT, but for me, it didn't help as much as I kind of wanted it to. And yeah, so let me just start from the beginning. I don't want to tell you like the whole story as to how I kind of got anxiety, but essentially it's just like a trigger of, just like for me, what happens, because it's nothing that triggers it. It could just happen out of nowhere. You're tight, you're tight, your chest becomes really tight. You feel like you can't breathe, like you're drowning. And you know, there's just so many different aspects to it. And for me, that's one of the things that happen. Like I get really kind of a bit lightheaded, and the breathing is mostly the most important thing, because you know you can breathe, but your body is just not letting you release it. And that's when, you know, people like, you know, that's a lot of kind of people perception of how to overcome anxiety. But there's methods that I learned that I will talk about when I talk about my CBT and everything. But for a long time I had no idea what was happening, and I know people around me who have panic attacks, and I don't think I've really ever seen someone have it. And when I was kind of starting to get it, I was like, what the hell is happening? I don't know what this is. And then I went to see my doctor, and I was just like, look, this is what's happening. I'm becoming short of breath and I get quite dizzy and this and that. And she said, oh, I can kind of refer you to like CBT therapy, which is, oh my god, I won't even be able to pronounce it, but I've got all my kind of CBT notes with me, but it's something behavioral therapies. I can't pronounce the first word, I'm so sorry. I kind of feel like I'm quite dyslexic when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, so I received a phone call. It took about a month or so for them to get back to me, for like referrals, they take so long. And then I had like a 45 minutes to an hour conversation, and this all happened like last year. So I think towards the beginning of January, that's when I kind of started it. And basically it wasn't January, it was around March, April time. That's when they called me, and then they asked me all these questions about if I was ever feeling like suicidal, if I ever you know, what happens when I have a panic attack, and all these questions, just so they can prepare for when they meet you. So I was kindly offered basically, so there was two options. So the person who phoned me, he was like, oh, okay, you can be on the waiting list, get up to like waiting list for about a year or a bit longer if you want to see someone who's fully trained, or you can come and see someone else who is kind of learning a bit of a student aspect of it, but you'll be seen much quicker. And I thought to myself, let me just, you know, see the person now, because if they're offering it to me, I shouldn't turn it down. And you know, I'm really glad I didn't turn it down, because there's so much that I learned that has helped me. So initially I was offered 6 sessions, which I have obviously I've taken. So basically it was like after the phone call, I think it was like a week or two later, is Talking Therapies, which was based in like East London, which is essentially where I'm from. And you sit in this little room. It's very strange, because every session you go in, you have to fill out a form. So you have to kind of, or they ask you to do it online as well. So there's like a form that you fill out. It's the same questions every week. So it's like, oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your week been? How's, you know, work been, and family life, and this and that. And obviously the suicidal question, and always this and that. And then when I would get there, they would go through all the questions. So essentially I had 6 sessions. But each session was half an hour. So in my opinion, I felt like that was way too short. And, you know, I'm not going to complain about it in the beginning anyway, because there's people who are on the waiting list for months and years, and they just, you know, they are struggling a lot. And honestly, you know, with how I was doing, I didn't think I was struggling as bad as some people, but that's just my own perception. That's just how I'm kind of denying it all, I guess. But yeah, I had 6 sessions. The first 15 minutes was always like, oh, how are you? Tell me about your week. And the last 15 minutes was always, okay, let's do this exercise. Let's do something. Let's do a breathing exercise, or tell me a bit about this situation or that situation. And that would be it. And it would be the same day every week for 6 weeks. So it would be some kind of, you know, you're used to going, but when you're used to going, it stops. And I don't know if many places offer more than 6 weeks. I haven't really applied to kind of go back, because everything I was kind of shown and taught was probably the main aspect of what CBT actually is. But yeah, let me show you a quick couple of things that they kind of gave to me. Like they gave me a lot of paper kind of like lots of information. So this is all the stuff that they kind of gave to me. I haven't even looked at it in like a year. That just shows how how well I'm doing. But I'm the kind of person who kind of like, yes, I'll definitely look for it every time I can, and then I forget about it. But yeah, this sheet especially was pretty helpful. It's just really good to kind of, you know, it's just positive steps to well-being. So essentially it's about, you know, overcoming anxiety and, you know, what to do when you feel like rubbish or you feel like you're about to have a panic attack. And on here you've got be kind to yourself, exercise regularly. I try to, but right now I can't. Take up a new hobby. Hobbies I like, for example, like knitting. That's one of the most therapeutic things in my life. If you know how to knit, you probably know how I feel. If you don't know how to knit, now's the perfect time. Go on YouTube and Google how to knit and you're on your way. It's just the most calming, fun thing ever. Help others, always a given. Relax, can try and relax. I mean, most of the time I end up having a panic attack when I'm on the train or the bus. The most the most annoying place, but you just have to find methods and ways to help yourself calm down. Eat healthy, balance sleep, beware drink and drugs, accepting it is as it is. And a lot of the things that they kind of say to you is like, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen. And essentially the triggers that I have, like I probably have never really spoken about this to even like any of my friends or anyone, but I have this kind of habit where when I get on the bus, I have to sit at the last seat on the back so no one's sitting behind me, because I had like essentially one of the things that kind of triggers my anxiety is people sitting behind me and me not knowing what's happening, because I like to wear headphones on the bus because I like to listen to music. I'm a big music fan. And yeah, I was harassed on the bus one day and it's just really kind of stayed with me forever, and it's what triggers me when I sit on the bus. So essentially, if there's no space at the back of the bus, I try my best to kind of sit to the side, or I'm always very paranoid. I'm always like looking around like I'm inspecting something. But yeah, it's just coming up with ways to help yourself. Like CBT, it was good. I mean, I shouldn't complain. I'm not going to complain about how it's affected me, because there's so many ways, there's so many things that it's taught me to overcome my anxiety, to like kick its butt. And you know, if any of you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them from my experience. But yeah, when it comes to essentially like just mental health, it's so important to talk about it. It's so important for people to talk to each other about it, because it's a topic that it's just a topic that's going to happen forever, because mental health is part of us all. And you know, even if it's not you, it's a family member, there's ways that you can help your family. There's always like organizations and charities that help. Working in charities myself, I've come to kind of realize that they do more than just, oh, how are you, they actually go and do stuff for you. I've always wanted to work for like Mind and stuff like that, because they've just been a great organization. But yeah, when it comes to like depression, you just have to find out what triggers you. I mean, when it comes to something like severe depression, that just, it happens naturally. Like if you don't know much about like bipolar or manic depression, that stuff just kind of, you can't deal with it. It's just like a, you know, sometimes with anxiety there's like no trigger. It's the same with depression as well. Like you literally could be sitting there having a good day and the next minute you could just be nothing. And that's just the way our bodies are. People have medicine, people do yoga, this and that. There's different aspects to overcome your own mental health. But the best way, a thing about it, if you know you're struggling, please talk to someone, even if it's a friend, a family member. If there's no one that you can rely on, like I mentioned before, there's the Samaritans. There's a number I'll be leaving down below. I'll be leaving lots of information in the comments, in the description. So if you ever feel like, you know, especially during moments like this where you feel like you're struggling, you have to talk to someone. Please don't feel like you're alone. There are people out there, even if they're strangers. Sometimes it's better to talk to strangers because they won't be judging you. They'll be, you know, talking to you like you're a person, because you are a person. So they won't have like, you know, a face to a name if you're on the phone with someone. But but please like seek help if you feel like it's something that you need. And I also want to touch on how I'm dealing with stuff every day if you care, or just how people can deal with it in general. So the first like few weeks when I was doing nothing, I was trying to keep myself busy. So I was trying to, every day I was making videos for YouTube, and that is how I kept myself busy. That's how I kept my mind busy. There's always ways of, instead of just like watching YouTube or just watching Netflix, you can do things with your life. You know, you can write, you can like start a blog. If you feel like you want to write something, you want to pour your heart out, start a blog. There's so many free blog sites that you can go on and just write away. You know, you don't have to share them with anyone. You can just write them and they're out. You know, sometimes if you feel like you can't talk to anyone, writing is always a perfect kind of example. Again, knitting, amazing. I love my knitting. It is one of the things that kind of keeps you motivated, and it stops me from, you know, messing up my face, because I have a very bad habit. I don't know if it's even a habit, but it's basically I pick my face. I'm so sorry if that like grosses people out, but if you can't tell, I have rosacea, which is a skin pigment condition. I have made a video about it. It's way early in the videos that I made, in case people probably like, why is your face so red? Why is it so ugly? Blah, blah, blah. I've spoken about it, but what I didn't speak about was, you know, why it constantly is red, or why it is like this, is because I don't help myself, and it's a part of my anxiety where I'm constantly just like, I don't know, I'm doing it. Literally, I'm sitting there just doing that, ruining my face, and that is something that I need to deal with. But when you're knitting, you're not doing, you know, I'm not doing that. And obviously now during COVID, they're like, don't touch your face, and I'm like, that's the opposite of what I'm doing. Especially when, if I put on makeup now, I use just my brushes, and it's not even because of this, but because of the germs, and I'm just super paranoid about it all. But yeah, that's another thing that I kind of have to deal with in my own aspect. But keeping busy is important. I know if you can't go outside, they've lifted kind of things a bit more now. So, you know, if you have a park near you, go and sit outside for 10-15 minutes in the sun. It always helps. You know, just drink a lot of water as well. I know that's a really stupid thing to say, but water is so detoxifying. It's amazing. Like, it will really help your body kind of like rejuvenate and feel much better in the morning. Because, you know, if you wake up, if you're having like lots of lions, you wake up with a headache, that's because your body's so dehydrated that you need to drink water to kind of keep yourself going. So please drink lots of water. It's amazing. I drink like, it's probably still not enough, but I drink like 2 big bottles of water every day. And I've got these water drops now that I spoke about in one of my monthly favorites, is where you put, it's like a little tab that you put in, and it's just like taste, but they have lots of like fruit and everything inside, like the kind of taste. And it just helps people drink more water. But yeah, what I'm getting at, because I've been talking for like almost 20 minutes, hopefully I haven't bored you guys, but yeah, mental health is important. Please look after yourself. If you ever feel like you want to ask me anything, please put in the comments. I have social media if you want to ask me anything on my Instagram messages or anything, please do, because I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah, I want you to stay safe. Please, I'll be leaving some information in the description if you feel like you need someone to talk to, like Samaritans. I think they're 24 hours. Some organisations don't close over bank holidays, so please don't feel like you're alone. But yeah, stay safe, and I'll hopefully see you guys very soon. Bye.